First Contact and Betrayal. Commander Elena Reyes stood at the panoramic viewport of Orbital Defense Station Artemis, her reflection superimposed over the blue-green curve of Earth below. 20 years in the Earth Defense Force had hardened her against most surprises, but nothing had prepared her for the message that had just come through from Deep Space Monitoring Array 7. "Run the data again," she ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Lieutenant Kaido Chen nodded, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Confirmation complete, Commander. The object is maintaining its position at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. It's definitely artificial, and it's definitely not one of ours." Humanity had been sending signals into the void for over a century, hoping for a response that never came. Now, without warning, the response had arrived in the form of a vessel of unmistakably alien design. "Any attempt at communication?" Elena asked, turning away from Earth's serene image to face her crew. "None yet," said Communications Officer Diane Lamontagne. "But it's not attempting to hide either. If anything, it seems to be waiting." Elena straightened her uniform jacket, a habit from her academy days. "Inform the Security Council immediately. Then open a channel on all standard frequencies and translation protocols." 3 days later, Elena found herself standing in the United Earth Council chamber in Geneva, facing representatives from every nation on the planet. The alien vessel had responded to Earth's hails with surprising fluency, transmitting language packages that allowed basic communication. They called themselves the Nexus Collective, an alliance of technologically advanced species spanning multiple star systems. "The collective representatives have requested a formal meeting," Elena reported to the assembled delegates. "They've agreed to send a diplomatic vessel to Earth orbit, with your permission." Council Chairperson Zhao looked troubled. "And you believe this is safe, Commander?" "With respect, Chairperson, I don't think we have much choice. Their vessel at the system's edge is twice the size of our largest space station and possesses technology far beyond our current capabilities. If they meant us harm, they could have acted already." 1 week later, Elena stood in the newly constructed reception bay of Artemis Station, watching as the sleek Nexus Collective shuttle docked with impossible precision. The airlock cycled, and 3 beings emerged. They were humanoid in the broadest sense, bipedal with 2 upper limbs and a head, but the similarities ended there. Their skin had a subtle iridescence that shifted colors with movement, and their 4 eyes blinked in an unsettling, asynchronous pattern. "I am Emissary Talon," the central figure spoke, its mouth not moving as the words seemed to form directly in Elena's mind. "We bring greetings from the Nexus Collective." The diplomatic dance that followed lasted months. The collective offered technological insights that accelerated human science by decades, improvements in energy generation, medicine, and material science. In return, they requested only cultural exchange and permission to establish an observation post on Mars to better understand their new neighbors. Earth's nations, initially cautious, grew enthusiastic about the partnership. New industries emerged overnight to implement collective technologies. The global economy surged. Diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries found cures. It seemed too good to be true. It was. Elena was reviewing security protocols in her quarters when the alarm blared. "Commander to the command center immediately." She raced through the corridors, passing crew members rushing to battle stations. The command center was a flurry of activity when she arrived. "Report," she demanded, taking her position at the central console. Major Harrison's face was grim. "Multiple vessels just appeared in cislunar space, Commander. Nexus Collective signatures, but these aren't diplomatic ships." He pulled up the tactical display. 27 warships, heavily armed. "They've taken position around our major population centers." "Open a channel to Emissary Talon," Elena ordered. The alien's face appeared on screen, its expression unreadable. "Commander Reyes, I trust you understand what is happening." "I understand that you've betrayed our trust," Elena replied, keeping her voice level. "What I don't understand is why." Evolution and survival are universal constants, Commander. Your species shows remarkable potential. Too much potential to be allowed unrestricted development. The collective has observed this pattern before. Species that advance too quickly become problematic. Alina's hands clenched into fists. So this was always your plan. Technological assessment before conquest. Not conquest. Containment and supervision. Your species will continue under our guidance. Resistance would only result in unnecessary suffering. Screens around the command center lit up as Nexus vessels activated weapons systems. Satellite feeds showed energy weapons targeting major military installations around the globe. You have one planetary rotation to formally surrender Earth's sovereignty to collective oversight, Talon continued. After that, we will disable your defensive capabilities with minimal casualties, if possible. The transmission cut. They've been playing us from the beginning, Lieutenant Chen said quietly. Those technology gifts were just to assess our capabilities. Alina nodded grimly. And to see how quickly we could adapt their tech. Everything we've built with their assistance probably has backdoors and vulnerabilities. What can we do? Diane asked. Their weapons systems outmatch anything we have. Alina turned to the tactical display, studying the collective vessel positions. We have 24 hours. Contact every Earth Defense Force installation worldwide. Implement Contingency Protocol Heimdall. Protocol Heimdall was the worst-case scenario for alien contact. Complete communications blackout, activation of stealth defense systems, and preparation for asymmetric warfare. It wouldn't be enough against the collective's technology, but it might buy them time. Ma'am, called Specialist Rodriguez from the sensor station. I'm detecting something unusual from Earth. The collective? Alina asked sharply. No, it's coming from our own planet, specifically from the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. Some kind of energy signature we've never recorded before. Alina frowned. On screen. The display showed thermal imaging of the ocean floor, where something was happening. A pattern of energy emissions unlike anything in Earth's technological repertoire pulsed in regular intervals. It began exactly when the collective warships arrived, Rodriguez reported. It's almost like something down there is responding to their presence. Alina studied the readings. Whatever it is, it's artificial, and it's powerful. And if the collective didn't put it there, then who did? Chen finished her thought. A new alert sounded. Commander, we're receiving a transmission, Diane reported. It's not from the collective. It's coming from the anomaly in the Mariana Trench. Put it through, Alina ordered. There was static, then a voice. Neither male nor female, neither mechanical nor organic, but something in between. It spoke in perfect, unaccented English. Threat detected. Protective protocols initiating. Guardian systems coming online after 50,000 years of dormancy. Seeking authorized command personnel. The command center fell silent. What is that? Major Harrison whispered. Alina stepped forward. This is Commander Alina Reyes of the Earth Defense Force. Identify yourself. A pause, then the voice responded. Identity confirmed. Human, authority recognized. I am the Sentinel, placed here by the progenitors to ensure Earth's development would proceed unhindered. A Level 7 threat has been detected in orbit. Request authorization to activate defense systems. Alina exchanged glances with her officers, seeing her own shock mirrored in their expressions. Authorization granted, she said finally. Acknowledged. Warning. Full activation requires direct interface with human command elements. Transmitting coordinates for access point. As the voice fell silent, coordinates appeared on the main screen. A precise location in the deepest part of the Pacific Ocean. Commander, Chen said quietly, if this is legitimate, it means Earth has had an unknown protector for longer than human civilization has existed. Alina finished. And now it's waking up. She turned to her officers, decision made. We have less than 24 hours before the collective begins their attack. Whatever this sentinel is, it's our best hope. Major Harrison, maintain command here. Lieutenant Chen, you're with me. We need a deep-sea vessel and a team of our best people. As orders went out and preparations began, Elena looked once more at the image of Earth below. For the first time since the collective's betrayal, she felt something other than dread. Hope. The Nexus Collective had calculated every variable in their subjugation of Earth, except one. They thought Earth was defenseless. They were about to discover how wrong they were. As Elena hurried to prepare for the mission to the depths of the Pacific, she couldn't help but wonder what other secrets lay hidden on humanity's homeworld, waiting to be awakened. The Ancient Guardian. The Kraken, Earth's most advanced deep-sea exploration vessel, cut through the dark waters of the Pacific Ocean. Normally used for scientific research, today it carried a different kind of mission. Commander Elena Reyes stood in the control room, watching depth readings increase as they descended toward the coordinates provided by the mysterious sentinel. 10,000 meters and still going, reported Dr. Samira Karim, the expedition's oceanographer. We're already deeper than any official record. Lieutenant Chen looked up from his console. The Kraken's rated for 15,000 meters, but we're entering unknown territory here. Elena nodded grimly. Keep going. We have less than 18 hours before the collective's deadline. Updates from the surface had been grim. The Nexus Collective had positioned their warships strategically around the planet, targeting major defense installations and population centers. Global panic had been narrowly averted by careful information control, but militaries worldwide were mobilizing in a desperate attempt to prepare for the inevitable conflict. Approaching coordinates, the pilot announced. 12,000 meters. I'm seeing something on the forward scanners. The vessel's lights illuminated what should have been barren ocean floor. Instead, they revealed a massive structure, its design unlike anything built by human hands. Geometric patterns covered surfaces that seemed to phase between solid metal and something else entirely, something that didn't quite obey the laws of physics as humans understood them. My God, whispered Dr. Karim. This predates human civilization by tens of thousands of years at minimum. Elena activated her communications link. Artemis Station, this is Commander Reyes. We've located the structure, proceeding with investigation. The Kraken maneuvered toward what appeared to be an entrance, an iris-like door that was already beginning to open as they approached, water draining from an interior chamber. It's creating an airlock for us, Chen observed. It knows we're here. Elena made her decision. We're going in. Dr. Karim, maintain command of the Kraken. Lieutenant Chen, you're with me. Along with Squad Alpha. 20 minutes later, Elena led a 6-person team through the now dry airlock into the heart of the ancient structure. Their footsteps echoed on surfaces that looked like metal, but felt warm, almost alive, under their boots. The air was breathable. Another sign that the structure had prepared itself for human visitors. The architecture is incredible, said Specialist Jacobs, the team's engineer. These support structures, the composition of the materials, it's beyond anything in our technological understanding. Stay focused, Elena reminded them. We're here to make contact with the Sentinel, not conduct a research expedition. They moved deeper into the structure, following a path illuminated by soft blue lighting that activated as they approached. The corridor eventually opened into a vast chamber dominated by a central pillar of swirling energy. Commander Reyes spoke the same voice they had heard from the surface. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Welcome to the Guardian Nexus. Elena stepped forward. I am Commander Reyes. You called yourself the Sentinel. What exactly are you, and why are you here? The energy in the central pillar coalesced into a humanoid shape, not quite solid, not quite holographic. I am an autonomous defense system created by the progenitors, tasked with monitoring and protecting Earth during its developmental phases. The progenitors? Chen asked. An ancient species that recognized Earth's potential. They observed early hominid development and determined that your species had unique cognitive qualities worth preserving. I was placed here 50,000 years ago, with protocols to remain dormant unless specific threat parameters were detected. Like the Nexus Collective, Elena surmised. Correct. The Collective follows patterns consistent with Level 7 threat classification, technological domination, and evolutionary control. Elena exchanged glances with Chen. You've been here all this time. Through our entire history. Yes, observing, but not interfering. The progenitors believe that interference in natural development creates dependency and weakness. My defensive capabilities are substantial but incomplete after millennia of dormancy. Full activation requires integration with a human operator. As safeguard, the progenitors installed to ensure I would never act against humanity's interests. Integration, Elena asked cautiously. What does that mean? The Sentinel's form shifted slightly. A neural interface with a compatible human mind to guide strategic decisions and moral parameters. My systems were designed to complement human intuition and creativity with computational power and technological capability. And I'm assuming I'm compatible, or you wouldn't have requested me specifically, Elena said. Correct. Your neural patterns match optimal parameters for integration. Elena considered this. Earth faced extinction or subjugation within hours. Whatever risks this integration posed to her personally were irrelevant compared to the fate of humanity. What do I need to do? She asked. Commander, Chen interjected. We don't know what this will do to you. Elena turned to him. We don't have time for caution, Lieutenant. The Collective will begin their attack soon, and we have no conventional defense against their technology. She faced the Sentinel again. Proceed with integration. The central chamber transformed around them. Panels opened in the floor, and a chair-like structure emerged, organic in appearance yet clearly technological in function. Please sit, the Sentinel instructed. Elena handed her sidearm to Chen. If something goes wrong, get back to the surface and tell them everything we've learned. She settled into the chair, which immediately conformed to her body. Neural interfaces extended gently to connect with her temples. Integration beginning, the Sentinel announced. This process will synchronize our consciousness temporarily while maintaining your autonomy. Elena felt a momentary discomfort, then a rush of information flooded her mind. Knowledge, history, capabilities beyond human understanding. She saw Earth as the progenitors had seen it millennia ago. She witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations through the Sentinel's passive observation. Most crucially, she understood the defensive systems at their disposal. When she opened her eyes, the world looked different. Data overlays provided tactical information about her surroundings, and she could feel the Sentinel systems extending throughout the structure and beyond. Integration successful, she said, her voice overlaid with harmonic tones. Defensive capabilities at 62% and rising. Chen and the other team members watched in awe as the structure around them hummed to life, systems activating after 50 millennia of dormancy. Commander, Chen asked hesitantly, are you still? You? Elena smiled, the expression purely human despite the strange harmonics in her voice. I'm still me, Lieutenant, just with better access to information now. She stood from the chair, neural connections maintaining wireless contact. And I know how we can fight back. She gestured, and a holographic display appeared, showing Earth and the collective vessels in orbit. The Sentinel has defensive systems strategically placed around the planet, nodes that have remained hidden and dormant until now. Together, they can generate a planetary shield capable of withstanding the collective's weapons. That's incredible, Jacobs breathed. But not enough, Elena continued. The shield is defensive only. To repel the collective, we need to take the fight to them. She turned to Chen. Contact Artemis Station and all Earth Defense Force commands. The Sentinel has provided specifications for retrofitting our existing weapons with progenitor technology. It's not complicated. The progenitors designed it to be compatible with whatever technology the protected species eventually developed. Chen nodded, already relaying the information through their secure channel. "What about the collective's ultimatum?" Specialist Rivera asked. "We have less than 17 hours remaining." "We don't wait for their deadline," Alina said decisively. "The element of surprise is one advantage we have. The collective doesn't know about the Sentinel. We'll activate the planetary shield and launch our first counterattack simultaneously, targeting their command vessels before they realize what's happening." As the team worked to implement Alina's strategy, reports came in from around the world. The specifications transmitted from the Sentinel were being implemented at remarkable speed. Human engineers and scientists, it seemed, were exceeding even the progenitors' expectations in their adaptability. 6 hours later, Alina stood at a control interface, monitoring global preparations. The integration with the Sentinel gave her unprecedented awareness of Earth's defensive posture. Weapons systems worldwide had been modified with progenitor technology, and defensive nodes buried for millennia in strategic locations were now at full power. "We're ready," she announced to her team. "Initiating planetary shield in 3, 2, 1. Around the planet, the defensive nodes activated simultaneously. Energy fields extended upward, merging into a translucent barrier encompassing the entire Earth. In orbit, the Nexus collective vessels detected the sudden energy surge. "They're responding," Chen reported, monitoring communications. "Their weapons are powering up." The first collective vessel fired, a beam of concentrated energy striking the newly formed shield. The shield absorbed the impact, rippling slightly but holding firm. "Shield integrity at 97%, Alina reported. "All defensive systems functioning within parameters." On the collective command vessel, Emissary Talon watched in disbelief as Earth suddenly deployed technology that should have been impossible for humans to possess. "Impossible," he murmured. "Their technological level cannot have advanced this quickly." His tactical officer's voice was urgent. "Emissary, we're detecting energy signatures consistent with progenitor technology. This is not human advancement. They've awakened a guardian system." Talon's 4 eyes widened in shock. "Progenitors? Here. Impossible. We scanned for guardian signatures when we first arrived. It must have been dormant, activated only by our military presence." Talon made a rapid decision. "Target the source of the guardian signature immediately. All vessels, concentrated fire on these coordinates." He transmitted the location of the Mariana Trench structure. Back in the Guardian Nexus, Alina sensed the collective's change in strategy. "They've identified our location, redirecting shield strength to this sector." The ocean above the structure boiled as multiple energy weapons converged on their position. The shield held, but Alina could feel the strain through her connection with the Sentinel. "Shield integrity dropping," she reported. 82%. 75%. "Can we hold?" Chen asked urgently. "Not indefinitely," Alina replied. The Sentinel's systems weren't designed to withstand this level of concentrated attack. Through her connection, Alina accessed the Sentinel's full strategic capabilities, studying options and probabilities. A plan formed in her mind. Risky, but potentially decisive. "We need to expand the Sentinel's operational capacity," she announced. "The progenitors designed this system to evolve alongside humanity. It can integrate with our existing technology, not just our weapons, but our global communications network, power grid, satellite systems." Understanding dawned on Chen's face. "You're talking about creating a planetary-scale integrated defense system." "Exactly. The Sentinel provides the core technology and coordination, but human systems provide the reach and flexibility." She turned to the team. "We need to transmit new integration protocols to every major technological hub on the planet. If we can bring enough systems online fast enough, we can not only defend ourselves but launch a counterattack the collective isn't prepared for." As the team rushed to implement her plan, Alina felt the Sentinel's consciousness alongside her own, not controlling, but partnering. The ancient Guardian had protected Earth from the shadows for 50 millennia. Now it would stand with humanity in the light. In orbit, the collective continued their assault, unaware that with every passing minute, the combined human Sentinel defense system was growing stronger, more integrated, more capable. Emissary Talon, confident in the collective's technological superiority, had no way of knowing that he had awakened not just an ancient guardian, but humanity's fierce determination to survive. The real battle was about to begin. Humanity stands tall. 12 hours after the activation of the Sentinel, Earth had transformed. The planet's technological infrastructure now operated as a unified defense system, guided by the ancient Guardian's protocols, but powered by humanity's innovation and determination. In the heart of what was now being called Guardian Command in the depths of the Pacific, Commander Elena Reyes coordinated the global response. Her neural link to the Sentinel gave her unprecedented situational awareness, while the command center around her hummed with activity as military and civilian specialists worked together. "Status report," Elena requested, her voice maintaining that subtle harmonic quality since her integration with the Sentinel. "Planetary shield holding at 68%, reported Lieutenant Chen. "The collective has shifted to a dispersed attack pattern, trying to find weak points rather than brute forcing through our defenses." Dr. Karim, who had joined them from the Kraken, looked up from her analysis. "The integration with Earth's power grid is stabilizing. We're channeling energy from hydroelectric, solar, and nuclear sources worldwide to maintain the shield." "And our offensive capabilities?" Elena asked. Major Harrison, who had arrived from Artemis Station hours earlier, brought up the tactical display. 23 orbital defense platforms have been successfully retrofitted with Sentinel technology. They're ready to deploy on your command. Elena studied the display. Above them, the Nexus collective fleet had grown to 43 vessels as reinforcements arrived through faster-than-light travel. They had arranged themselves in a battle formation designed to maximize weapons coverage while maintaining tactical flexibility. What they didn't know was that humanity was no longer fighting alone. Elena opened a channel to all Earth defense commands. "This is Commander Reyes. The collective believes they're facing a primitive species with access to salvage technology we don't fully understand. They're wrong. We understand more than they realize, and we're about to show them exactly what humanity is capable of when pushed to the edge." She turned to her command team. "Execute Operation Thunderbolt." Around the planet, the modified orbital platforms activated simultaneously. Energy weapons fashioned from a hybrid of human and progenitor technology fired precisely targeted beams at selected collective vessels. The attack caught the aliens completely by surprise. Their shields had been calibrated to defend against Earth's conventional weapons, not the focused energy signatures now cutting through their defenses. 7 collective ships were disabled in the first volley. On the collective command vessel, Emissary Talon reeled from the tactical displays showing unprecedented damage to their fleet. "Impossible," he hissed. "Their weapons technology has advanced by centuries in mere hours." His tactical officer's voice was tense. "The humans are integrating progenitor technology with their own systems at an alarming rate. Our predictive models cannot account for this level of adaptation." Talon's mandibles clicked in agitation. "Summon the Armée. All available vessels within 2 light years. We will not be humiliated by a primitive species." Back in Guardian Command, Elena observed the collective's response. "They're calling for reinforcements," she announced. "The Sentinel's long-range sensors are detecting FTL signatures. We estimate 30 to 40 additional warships inbound." "Can we withstand that many?" Major Harrison asked grimly. Elena shared a look with Chen. "Not with our current capabilities. We need to accelerate the integration process." She closed her eyes, accessing deeper levels of the Sentinel's knowledge through their neural link. Information flowed into her consciousness. Defense systems, weapons technologies, tactical options that the progenitors had developed but kept in reserve, waiting for humanity to reach the appropriate evolutionary stage. "There's more," she said, opening her eyes. "The Sentinel has access to advanced technologies that can be implemented immediately, but it requires a deeper integration with human systems than we've attempted so far. What kind of integration? Dr. Karim asked. A global neural network, Elena explained. Voluntary participants linked through a modified version of our existing communications infrastructure. Not a hive mind. Individual consciousness would remain intact, but a coordinated defense consciousness that could respond to threats with both the Sentinel's processing power and human creativity. The command team fell silent as they considered the implications. How many people would need to participate? Chen finally asked. A few thousand strategically positioned around the globe would be sufficient for the initial framework, Elena replied. Military personnel, scientists, engineers, people who understand what we're facing and are willing to be part of the solution. Major Harrison frowned. There's no time to develop and test something like this. The framework already exists, Elena countered. The progenitors designed the Sentinel to evolve alongside the protected species. This capability was always intended to activate once humanity reached a certain technological threshold. We've reached that threshold earlier than expected due to the crisis, but the systems are compatible. A tense discussion followed, but with the collective armada approaching and time running short, a decision was made. Within hours, a call went out to military and scientific installations worldwide. The response was overwhelming. Faced with extinction, thousands volunteered without hesitation. The global neural network came online just as the first wave of collective reinforcements arrived in Earth orbit. The effect was immediate and dramatic. As Elena had predicted, the combination of the Sentinel's processing power and humanity's adaptive thinking created something greater than either alone could achieve. Defense systems responded to attacks before they fully materialized. Counterattacks exploited weaknesses in collective technology that even the aliens weren't aware existed. The planetary shield strengthened, drawing power from sources the collective couldn't detect or target. On the collective command vessel, Emissary Talon watched in growing horror as his supposedly superior forces found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. How are they doing this? He demanded. Their tactical responses are evolving faster than we can adapt our attacks. His science officer's analysis was grim. The humans appear to be operating as a coherent defensive entity while maintaining individual decision-making capabilities. It's a hybrid approach we've never encountered before. Impossible, Talon insisted. No species develops that level of coordination spontaneously. That's just it, Emissary, the science officer replied. They didn't develop it spontaneously. They're adapting to our attacks in real time, creating new solutions to each problem we present. The Guardian technology is providing the framework, but the implementation is uniquely human. For the first time in his long career subjugating lesser species for the collective, Talon felt something unfamiliar: doubt. In Guardian Command, Elena stood at the center of both the physical command center and the neural network linking thousands of humans worldwide. Through her connection with the Sentinel, she could sense the collective determination of her species, not as abstract data, but as a tangible force. The collective's attack pattern is becoming erratic, she reported. They're struggling to find a cohesive strategy against our adaptive defense. We've neutralized 17 of their vessels, Chen added, but we've still got another 36 in attack formation, and more arriving. Elena studied the tactical display, processing information from the neural network. They're vulnerable. The collective operates on rigid hierarchical protocols. Destroy their command vessels, and the rest will fall into disarray. She initiated a direct communication to Emissary Talon's vessel, her image appearing before the alien leader. Emissary Talon, she greeted him, her voice resonating with the harmonic overtones of her Sentinel connection. I am Commander Elena Reyes, Earth Defense Force, integrated with the Guardian Sentinel placed here by the progenitors. Talon's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. Commander, your species has surprised us. I commend your resourcefulness, even as I prepare to end this resistance. That won't be necessary, Elena replied calmly. I'm offering you an opportunity to withdraw your forces intact. Continue your attack, and we will be forced to demonstrate capabilities that neither of us wishes to see deployed." The alien's mandibles clicked in what Elena now recognized as laughter. "Brave words, Commander. But the Nexus Collective does not retreat. Your temporary advantage will falter as our full armada arrives." Elena's expression remained impassive. "We accessed your tactical database during our last exchange. We know the Collective has encountered progenitor technology before, and we know how those encounters ended for your forces." She could see uncertainty flicker across the alien's features. "The progenitors are long gone," Talon countered, but with less confidence. "Their technology remains," Elena said, "and humanity has proven to be particularly adept at adapting it. This is your final warning. Emissary, withdraw your forces or face the consequences." She terminated the transmission before he could respond, turning back to her command team. "He won't retreat," Major Harrison observed. "No," Elena agreed, "but he'll hesitate, and that's what we need." She accessed the neural network, sending a priority command to all linked defense systems. "Prepare for synchronized attack pattern Aurora. Target all command vessels simultaneously." In orbit, the collective fleet repositioned to protect their command ships, unaware that Earth's defense systems had already locked onto their targets through gaps in their defensive formations, gaps that human intuition had identified where collective tactical algorithms saw none. "Execute," Elena ordered. Across the planet, defense platforms and ground-based weapons fired in perfect synchronization. Energy beams converged on the collective command vessels from angles their defensive systems hadn't anticipated and couldn't counter in time. Explosions blossomed in the blackness of space as 7 command vessels, including Emissary Talon's flagship, suffered catastrophic damage to their propulsion and weapon systems. The effect on the collective fleet was immediate and dramatic. Without the central command structure, coordination collapsed. Some vessels continued attacking according to their last orders, others withdrew to defensive positions, and a few began emergency FTL calculations to retreat. "Their formation is breaking," Chen reported, unable to keep the triumph from his voice. "Fleet cohesion down by 60% and falling." Elena nodded, monitoring the situation through